Hello and welcome to our webinar about Forward with Dementia and improving post-diagnostic support for people with dementia and their families. My name is Marie Poole. I'm a researcher from Newcastle University. And today I'll be talking with Joe and asking about his involvement in the Cognizance project and developing the Forward with Dementia resource, and also about his experiences in providing dementia care and support. So if I can hand over to you, Joe, and ask you to introduce yourself, please.
Thanks, Marie. Thanks so much for having me here. My name is Joe Costello. I'm the lead Admiral nurse with the charity Dementia Matters here in Newcastle upon Tyne. I've been in post about 4.5 years now, leading on a dementia care pathway, responsible for putting together a dementia advice centre in collaboration with a host of organisations, third sector organisations locally, and working very closely with the health, social, community and voluntary sector and the academic sector as well. My background, Marie, I'm a registered mental health by background. Predominantly all my career I've worked with older persons mental health services, holding roles in community mental health team as CPN, where I had care coordination responsibility and case management, and predominantly my work has been in dementia care, very much around memory assessment and management, and this particular role, the Admiral nurse over the last 4 years, dementia Admiral nurses provide dementia specialist support to families, right from diagnosis through to end of life care and post bereavement support, often working with the complexities of dementia and the transitions that often occur there for both the person with dementia and their families and carers in managing and coping with the progressive nature of a dementia.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for sharing your background and the wealth of experience you've had. And talking about the last 4 years you've been an Admiral nurse. Could you just tell me a little bit about how you've supported people when they've just been given a diagnosis, and that might be a person themselves who's been given the diagnosis or the family members too?
Yes, Marie, as I said earlier, Admiral nurses provide that clinical dementia support, and that can be right from diagnosis. And for some people, you know, getting a diagnosis can be very much life-changing. The adjustment, the acceptance of the diagnosis. So I'd be working, you know, with families and carers, and maybe the person with dementia on a one-to-one or in a family situation, a group. So opportunity to provide some group support, various family members in coming to terms with living with a dementia, and that's all ages. Again, I'd be, you know, I work with people under 65, people over 65, and supporting them through the condition. It can be, again, people need different types of support at different times. So from diagnosis, it might be about understanding the symptoms, progression of the condition. For other people, it's about changing in their roles, relationships. So it's working with families about understanding the changes that are occurring with the condition. For people, some people, it's about planning for the future. They want to have things in place. They want to be prepared. So it's about, at times, they want information around lasting power of attorneys, planning advanced care, thinking about what their care would look like. They want to know a little bit about the health and social care system and how it works, how to get support. Equally, a lot of people want to live their lives with dementia and want to live their lives well, but they want to keep connected to their community, to groups, activities. So at times it's connecting people to peer support, and people want to meet people in other situations similar to theirs, where they can talk to people going through similar experiences. For some people, they want groups and they want activities, they want stimulation, they want to be part of some activities to help their quality of life and their well-being. And some people need support around their entitlements, you know, and helping them look at various financial benefits or entitlements. They want to be able to talk to their work about their caring role, their responsibilities, and some guidance around their work situation. So often it's what I try and do as an Admiral nurse when I meet a family for the first time. It's tailoring the support to their needs and personalizing it to their situation. As I said, people need a range of support at different times, so it's trying to determine what is it their need at that time, what do they feel they want to work with me on, what do we need to connect with other people. So a lot of my work is collaborating and working in partnerships, across health, with primary care, ensuring people have their own dementia reviews. Might be with the local authority, looking at community care needs assessment, a carers assessment. It might be, as you say, a third sector, a carers group, education, but also the opportunity to participate in research and projects like the Cognizance, the opportunity to contribute to designing toolkits around post-diagnostic support, information, anything to, some people really want to be involved in helping themselves have a role, have an activity, a purpose, but equally contributing to the wider experience that carers will say to me, if I can help a little bit, it might help others. And people get an awful lot from that experience. So my work is very varied and it's very multidisciplinary, and it's very collaborative. It's working in partnerships, but it's deeply personal as well, working very closely with families and being with a family right through to end of life care. Over the last 4 years, I've had that privilege to work very closely with families from diagnosis, supporting people to have their care up to their end of life in their own homes, and being with the family to support them through the various transitions, the various communications that are needed for that to happen, and to be, at the end of the phone for that advice, information with the various changes that occur and that will occur through the condition. I think having a point of contact is crucial for families and carers, and I think Admiral nurses have that at times, that single point of contact, to help at times coordinate the care, to collaborate, and to provide that continuity for carers and families, and for the person they're looking after to receive high quality support right through the experience, Marie, from the diagnosis through to end of life care and post bereavement. Support people afterwards, after their loved one sadly has passed away, to help maybe rebuild their lives, or to talk about their experience or what they would like to do in the future.
Thanks, Joe. And your passion and commitment as an Admiral nurse absolutely shines through, and I know the difference that you've made to so many families, which is absolutely amazing. And you picked up on some really important things there, which I'm sure as practitioners, researchers will all recognise as important, is that kind of people have such a various range of needs, and there's so many different ways to try and meet some of those needs. And it might be informational needs, support needs, and some people want all that information up front. Some just aren't quite prepared for it and need it in small chunks. And I think you said the word tailored or personalised, or maybe even both, which what we're hoping to do with Forward with Dementia is help people find that information in a kind of tailored and personalised way, to help people access the information and practical support that they want. So something that could perhaps support an Admiral nurse in giving that information to the people that they support in a tailored way, perhaps.
Absolutely, Mary. It's that early intervention, as you said. You made a really good point there, Mary, at the point of diagnosis. So key thing is getting to people early, and what I like to see is early intervention of dementia support, whether it's an Admiral nurse or a dementia advisor, navigator, care and information advice worker, that they're getting early intervention to access this support in a very personalized and tailored way. Not that it's delayed, that they missed something for maybe a year or two, or didn't know where to go. So much is about getting to people sooner in their journey, early intervention and access, and at times, having like the Forward with Dementia toolkit will provide that opportunity for early intervention. And just knowing there's a toolkit there can start the conversations and start the communications. And they don't have to go into a great lot of detail, but just knowing that could be the early intervention, the early introduction to post-diagnostic support for people to start to begin to connect with the various, as you said, support options out there, whether it's practical, social, group, educational, research. But the key to me, I'd always say, is early intervention, early support. Seek it early.
Absolutely, and that very much mirrors what we're trying to achieve here in getting that early access right from that point of diagnosis, because the research has shown that that's often a problem, not just in the UK, but in the other partner countries too. And you talked about the research and people valuing that opportunity to take part. And as you know, people with dementia and carers have taken part in our co-design workshops. So it means that people who have real experience of trying to access services, or like yourselves trying to provide support, have had direct input into developing our resource. So I wondered if you could just tell us a little bit about your role in the co-design groups, the sorts of things that you did, who you engaged with. I'll let you explain.
That's great. Thanks, Marie. I mean, it's been a fantastic opportunity to be offered, an opportunity to be involved in the co-production, the co-design of the toolkit, and especially around the area of post-diagnostic support or people going through diagnosis. It was a real honor, that I was going to be able to use my skills as an Admiral nurse and dementia specialist nurse, and to be able to help influence and contribute and collaborate. So, from the word go, just being offered the opportunity was fantastic, on so many levels, to share it with a number of professionals, healthcare professionals, social, third sector. So there was real opportunity for partnership work and collaboration. And equally, it was an opportunity when you had asked, would it be carers and families, would it be people with dementia, Joe, out there willing to participate in the co-design? And I just thought this was a fantastic opportunity. I have access to a huge cohort of people that I've been involved with, as I said, over 4.5 years, that really want to make a difference, that want to contribute, and contribute with their views and thoughts, feelings, their experience, their lived experience of dementia. Some people have had the past experience of looking after where there hasn't been support, and then having the support. Others have the support in the here and now, and others had no support and had support as the condition progressed. So to be offered the opportunity to get some carers I've worked with and family members or people with dementia, to be part of the Cognizance project has been absolutely fantastic, really, for them to share the platforms. So to me, it was very meaningful and purposeful activity. I saw it sometimes like an intervention. I was offering the opportunity to co-produce some research and be part of study. I see it as occupation, activity. I see it as empowerment for carers and families, for people with dementia, helping their identity, their role, because they feel valued, and they feel part of an international project. And I suppose that's the other part of it as well. This wasn't just going on regionally. This is not just in the UK. It's an international collaboration. So to be part of something across the world and different hemispheres, it's just wonderful to share experiences. And even though we were sharing in the UK, but there is groups in Australia, across the globe, that are sitting down, sharing similar thoughts and feelings. So it's truly international and truly collaborative. So I think what I liked about it was the partnerships, the collaboration, the involvement of people with dementia and their carers, helping influence the direction of post-diagnostic support with this toolkit, or even people going through the diagnosis. Exactly what is a very positive concept, forward with dementia, very much that we will face the challenges, we'll face the opportunities. So to be part of it was, to me, exciting, and it was innovative. That's probably the other part of it. It was innovation and an opportunity of a digital intervention. So there was a lot of creativity with it, and thinking outside the box. So that's great. We were looking to change things and develop things and grow collectively, and that was through the experience of people contributing to the toolkit. And I think that's fantastic. The innovation, creativity, and the co-production, with people and users at the heart of it, and professionals and researchers collaborating together. True partnership, true partnership working.
I'm really glad it did feel like a true partnership, because for researchers, it certainly did feel like a partnership. And as you say, you yourself help us shape the website and the toolkit in terms of its design, the content that was written, even how it looks. But not just yourself, you signposted us to family carers, as you say, who got on board, were really, really fantastic. And we got the sense that they valued that participation. So it's lovely to hear that they did value it.
Absolutely, on so many levels, on very personal levels. It was very meaningful for them to be part of something that will help influence the changes for other people, and opportunities for people to access this early support through the Forward with Dementia toolkit, the post-diagnostic toolkit, an opportunity to really be part of something that will be there for future people to use. And I think that's what people want, that for others to have maybe what they have not experienced over the last number of years, or in their caring roles, and to make a difference. And they feel by contributing here on the co-design is helping change education, advice, support, information for people now living or affected with a diagnosis of a dementia, whether it's young or old.
So you've spoke about lots of positives for the carers who were involved, and yourself as a professional. What do you think we could have done better? How could we have improved that co-design experience, do you think?
It's so hard to know. I think it was very person-centered. It was flexible. How could we have done it differently?
I mean, we had the drawback of having to do it all on Zoom, which
Yeah.
I don't know, may have benefits, may have drawbacks.
Yeah, I suppose it'd be interesting, really, being getting people into a room. Would people be maybe a bit more relaxed? With technology at times, some people struggle to access the platform, and various technical difficulties with Zoom. But equally, it's in the comfort of their own home. People can be relaxed. They don't have to travel across distances. But yeah, you're right, it doesn't suit every person, being able to access the IT side of it. The sessions themselves clearly, were, for professionals like myself, the timing was great, a couple of hours out. It wasn't whole day events, so it wasn't taking up an awful lot of time from my daily, work, my clinical work. In relation to what could have been done differently, probably maybe maybe being involved in the initial early stages of the design of the website right from the start, maybe, having people with dementia actually, at the very start of it, of the looking at the website, the way it might be configured. What I felt, we were given the website, and then to comment on the imagery, the language, the color, things like that, so maybe, having a bit more involvement at the actually design stage, actually prototype itself, the website from the from the word go from scratch, maybe with the marketing, you know, the company that we're putting it together, and that might have been useful, and people might like to get in there at the very start of it all.
That sounds like a
yeah, it's hard, Marie, to pick what else could have been done better. You know, the groups were a nice size. You know, again, there was a mixture in the group. I work personally in a group with professionals. If I can think, I don't think I was in a group with people with dementia or carers in my group. If that's right, so maybe
that's right.
So maybe it might be useful, you know, having that mixed group, you know, with maybe people with dementia and carers alongside the professionals. So we listening to the carers, even though, you know, you were getting the information from the carers, from the other focus groups that involved carers, people. I personally, they weren't in my group, so it would be nice, maybe reflecting on it, to listen to their, you know, experience live, you know, even though you were gathering their information, their views in another group, and maybe the mix in our group, that might have been useful. But on the whole, it's hard to find what didn't work really. Whether I found it quite positive, you know, the engagement. I think the relationship between the researchers asking the questions and the clarification, the paraphrasing, the checking out, you know, the respect people had for different views. There was lots of different views felt on it. So again, that was in an atmosphere really of warmth and really, really kind of respecting each have different backgrounds and views. They bring different experiences. So the tone of the group felt really good. It's hard really to pick what wasn't good about it. And it was focus groups, wasn't it, as well? A lot of it was around focus groups. There were a couple of surveys we did as well, Marie. You know, yeah. It's I suppose at times you'd think about what it would be like to test out the group and then to feedback, you know, but we were very much just comment on just the imagery, on the way the group was, sorry, the way the toolkit was designed, you know, and we weren't using it in practice to bring it back, you know, to say, actually, I've used it and I found this actually with it. For some people, it's kind of learning in action when we're using the toolkit, or reflecting in action. We were reflecting, you know, without having actually used it in the field yet, you know. But very much it was, you know, to me, it was getting me to think about imagery and language and colors and schemes, which that was something different. You know what I mean? Getting my head into just looking at, do I like the look of that? How does that feel? Language. So it's can take, you know, a little bit of getting used to really that side of things, you know.
That was a learning curve for us as researchers as well, I have to admit.
Yeah.
You raised some beautiful points there about getting involvement with the research earlier doors. Just to explain a little bit, we provided kind of prototypes or mock-ups for people to comment on, but actually having that early involvement is a really nice idea. And also the idea, and I wish we could have done this, is yes, letting people test it out in real time and giving that live feedback would have been the absolute ideal. And just to raise another point about the co-collaboration in groups,
Yeah.
some of the countries did that and it worked really well. And we could have done 2 mixed groups, and we decided to try 2 separate groups. So yeah, I think that's a lovely idea as well, to try mixing relationships. And I think, you know, you get a different sharing of ideas and fresh perspectives when you do that. So
it might just stimulate different conversations with the mix of people with dementia and their carers just with you. It might just then actually, you might think as a professional just a little bit different, where if there's just a lot of professionals, you might have a group think, you know, or you might resonate with some of those professionals, but not from the user perspective, you know, and the care perspective, which we try and always try and see what it is for them. But having them in that group may just then help our thinking or reflections that actually, oh yeah, I can see that actually, I can see what it means to them. And that might stimulate more conversation or further discussion from yourself on how it could work differently, you know, than just being just with professionals as such, you know. But you know, it's it's all just fantastic, really, the opportunity to be part of it and share, you know, thoughts on designing an electronic, you know, toolkit, you know, or you know, be as equally to given out, you know, practically as well, you know, to people. But it's nice to be seeing that through to the end, which is fantastic. I think that was the other thing as well, following it through, you know, that we were meaningfully involved at every stage, you know, lots of communication, updates, clarification, reviews, questionnaires, evaluation. So it was really, really, you know, very well planned and well thought out, and keeping the users at the center of it, you know, both people with dementia and carers and ourselves, really, you know, and really kept us up to date all the time with the developments.
I think
And bringing back the changes as well, so people can see difference. They can see some of their comments, how it's made a difference, how it's influenced the next stage, the next prototype.
I think in the UK, I can definitely speak for the UK team, but also the international team, that co-design and the involvement and keeping the person and the carer and the healthcare professionals at the centre was a real highlight for us. And you touched on that about it is obviously a practical resource. So Forward with Dementia is a practical resource which we hope that healthcare professionals can use with the people they support, and people with dementia and carers can use independently to tailor their own information. Just one last question for you, Joe. How would you see yourself sitting down and using Forward with Dementia with someone you support, or for you as a professional?
Yeah, really good question, Marie. Again, it goes back to knowing your you know, your the person you're working with, or getting to know them, and listening to what they might feel would work for them. I think, like what I said before, it's about introducing early intervention, you know, and support. That, to me, it's about an awareness that there is this toolkit, you know, that's there, and being able to share a little bit about it, give a little bit of an overview. It might even show a bit of a demonstration. It's all depending, again, how the person is at that moment you were working with. But the important thing, that there is an awareness, there is a toolkit that can help them move forward, you know, at their own pace, and it's there for professionals and for carers and family members and the person. So to me, I think the first thing is to raise awareness of it, you know, and secondly, then maybe if they're ready to engage in just having a look at it, some of the different sites, different places, and again, tailoring it to what is it you would want to know. If they said, well, I'd want to know about entitlements, or I'd want to know about the diagnosis, that you could just, again, do a little bit of, you know, demonstration and show them, if, you know, as, so using it as a tool, I think, as a guide, or as a framework to guide discussion as well around support. So when some people don't really know, you know, what it is they're feeling, or what they want, or what they need, could we use this as a tool to guide through it? This is a Forward with Dementia toolkit to help you post-diagnostically, to help you move forward, to work with, you know, with understanding the condition. So I think it could be used as a framework to begin with, but most importantly, raising awareness that there is this resource available, you know, and demonstrating it with them, and then revisiting it as part of any reviews, any follow-ups, just to have it there at all times, so that getting familiar with the option of support, and their family may get to use it. So again, that it's there for a family to use at any time, to convenience of their own home. A lot of people are on, have IT. So I think it's a real option, you know, in the first thing, it's a tool to raise aware, to demonstrate it, to revisit it at any point, you know. I think it should be with them right through the experience, exactly what it says on the tin, forward with dementia. So every time we're moving forward, the toolkit is with us as a guide to facilitate conversations and discussions right from the first meeting. But it doesn't have to mean going through the whole site or website, or the whole session has to be revolve around the toolkit. It's to me a toolkit to guide practitioners and people with dementia together on a journey together. Exactly what we said, moving forward together, to support. But they'll only do that if they have awareness of it and have the early intervention that they can access this. So again, goes back to that point of early intervention and access. Forward with Dementia allows that. It provides the opportunity for awareness and opportunity for access to support and information, advice on dementia. So yeah, it's very much, it should be an integral component to anyone working in the field of dementia or in healthcare or social care even, as a tool to use, but tailoring it and personalizing it to that particular person.
I think you know, your description of using it as a framework, not feeling like you've got to sit down and look through the whole website, but to think there's a specific issue around benefits or access and social support, and tailoring and using it as a guide to facilitate conversations. I think that, you know, that is our hope, which you've kind of just summarized beautifully there, Joe. We've been so privileged to have you and our other members be so involved and give us amazing insights into the development of this tool. So from the whole research team, I just want to say thank you so much for your involvement, and thank you so much for coming along to share your experiences today. We hugely appreciate it. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you very much, Marie. As I said at the start, it's been an honor to be part of it, to collaborate with you, the research team, the co-design, the people who are involved. It's truly collaborative. It's very much in partnership, and it's, you know, it's a fantastic development and innovation, and to help people in their experience of living with dementia. Forward with Dementia, it's a very positive concept, and to embrace and to be part of it over the last year has been fantastic. And I know from my carers, working closely with them, how much they valued it, and that to me probably means so much more, you know, that it's been very meaningful to them to be sharing their experiences in this in the design, co-design of Forward with Dementia toolkit. So thank you, Marie. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe.